Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Quillan Salkilld absolutely eviscerates Mateusz Gamrot on last night's UFC fight night. The inventor of sex, the minority destroyer, strikes again and gets his fourth consecutive first round finishes. I have to say, man, I am both super impressed with Quillan Salkilld, but at the same time also kind of disappointed. And the reason being that he finished Mateusz Gamrot so quickly. It's impressive that he finished him so quickly, but I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see a lot of Quillan Salkilld, and that is kind of disappointing. But again, that's from the perspective of someone who wants to understand people's fighting game, what they are bringing to the octagon. But super impressive stuff from Quillan Salkilld, and he took advantage of the fact that if you don't if your fundamentals are like there and you have the finishing ability, you don't have to respect Mateusz Gamrot. And because again, Gamrot, a lot of his game only works if you are like respecting his wrestling, because your wrestling skills may be not there to the level to defend. But I think he came into the fight fully trusting his wrestling ability, his submission skills, and he basically bullied Mateusz Gamrot, man. He basically did what Charles Oliveira did, but like rather quickly. And the fight starts, and Salkilld immediately goes to his long range weapon. So he's throwing front teeps, he's throwing like jabs, and I think Gamrot also knew that this is not good if he's not like closing in the gap and gaining some respect from Salkilld. Also forgot to mention, Salkilld is massive for the division, man. He's massive. He's got 75-inch reach. He's next to Gamrot. He's looking insanely big. I think he might be a little bit bigger than Charles Oliveira, or maybe at least a little bit girthier than Charles Oliveira, and that's gonna be a problem for a lot of these lightweights, man. I'm telling you, that's gonna be a problem. But as I mentioned, the long range weapons are already proving to be extremely annoying for Gamrot because he wants to be imposing. Because, as I mentioned before, his game falls apart if that's not the case. So he constantly is trying to come over the top against Salkild's jab, which is a terrible thing to do when you're fighting a long range fighter who is like landing his jab, because you're never gonna reach his head like that. And then he throws the worst, most telegraphed combo we will see, and gets check hooked by Salkilld like 30 seconds into the fight, and he was hurt pretty bad from this. And the fight was basically like over from here. This was the first domino to fall, and after this, he was giving too much respect to Salkilld, maybe rightfully so, that he started panicking on the feet, and that led to Salkilld taking him down. I think a lot of people are going to be overestimating Salkild's wrestling now because he took down Gamrot, but I don't think that's necessarily the conclusion that I'm coming to. It's more so of Gamrot panicking on the feet that led to the takedown, and I think a lot of people don't really think this. That I think a lot of people only think the other way actually. That if the wrestler is so imposing that he might have success on the ground, I mean like on the feet. But the opposite is also true, that if you are a striker and you're like making your opponent panic, even if you're a real even if you're fighting a really good wrestler like Gamrot here, the takedowns, you can take him down. You can take them down if you can establish that much of a panic, and that exactly is what happened in my opinion. Not necessarily that he can go toe for toe with Gamrot on wrestling exchanges. But that's basically happens. Gamrot is panicking now because he's feeling punch from every strike and every punch from Salkilld, and he gets taken down. So he starts going for heel hook and leg locks. Um, Again, super impressive stuff from Salkilld. He's defending it properly. His fundamentals are there. He's turning away, turning into the submission to make sure that nothing breaks, basically. And he's pushing Gamrot's thigh to bring his knee out so that um, the submission basically falls apart. He was doing also other stuff like when he was ready to take Gamrot's back when the opportunity came, and when he was falling off of Gamrot's back, he immediately grabbed Gamrot's right hand, so the opposite hand from the direction of which where he is falling down, to as an anchor, so that he can bring himself to the top, or at the least not let Gamrot end up on top of you. This is absolutely impressive stuff from Salkilld, and these are the stuff that you want to see from a prospect, man. That the fundamentals are there. There is no glaring, really bad holes in their game, and this is extremely impressive from Salkilld. So Gamrot is basically trying to um, pull this leg a little bit so that he can end up on top, but the anchor simply is not letting him end up on top, and then Salkilld again takes the back from there, and when the opportunity arises, he was able to sink in the rear naked choke. Super impressive stuff from Quillan Salkilld. I don't want to jump to the conclusion saying that he has amazing wrestling, he has amazing submissions. I don't want to jump to this conclusion like what people like. This is the case with Ilya Topuria, for example. When Ilya Topuria was finding the submissions, everyone thought he has insane Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but I never was on this train of thought. I thought his submission is really good. He will find the submission if the opportunity arises, but he is not like someone like a Charles Oliveira or like an Aljamain Sterling or people like this. And then Ilya Topuria also was able to get the the mounted crucifix against Oliveira, and immediately everyone is like, "Oh my God, he's like absolutely manhandling Charles Oliveira. He's like he has better jiu-jitsu than Charles Oliveira, so and so." I don't think that was the case. I think that was more of catching people by surprise. He caught Oliveira by surprise by actually going to the mounted crucifix. Again, it's impressive, but it's not necessarily that he has insane ability to do it not consecutively, but like repeatedly to his opponents. And that was more so my train of thought, and I think that also applies here with Salkilld. I have not necessarily seen some crazy wrestling ability or like submission ability, but his fundamentals seems to be extremely strong, and that is exactly what you want to see from a prospect. He has finishing abilities. He's got power in his hands. He's not afraid to get to the submissions if the opportunity is there, and that's the right thing that we want to see from prospects. And I think it also played a little bit into Gamrot. I don't think Gamrot came into this fight thinking that Salkilld will be grappling with him, but again, that's a fault on his side. Just like that was a fault on Oliveira's side to not expect a mounted crucifix, for example. In conclusion, I want to say that I'm super impressed with Salkilld. I think he can reach the top. We have not seen any glaring holes right now, but that is also because he's been finishing the opponents in the first round itself. But um, I'm looking forward to what this man can do, man. I'm really looking forward to it. He seems to be fun. He seems to be good dude. He seems to be like pretty skilled everywhere, at least at the fundamental levels, I want to say. And yeah, want to see where he goes. I don't know who is going to be fighting next, but I'm really looking forward to it. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video.